जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहार जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जय राधा गोविंद राधे जय राधा गिरिधारी राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव हरे नाम संकीर्तन की right. So we'll start with the invocation prayers. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jnanam udaryate nashta prayoshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavate uttame shloke bhaktir bhavati nashtaki Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. So Hare Krishna Prabhujis and Matajis, thanks for joining. Today we'll be doing the last two shlokas from the chapter Canto 4, chapter 13, shloka 48 and 49. So the shloka is, I'll just go word by word, then we're going to go for the shloka. Vijnana nirvidya gatam patim prajaha prohita atmaye shurat gana adhya vikur urvyam atishokakaraha katraha yata nigudam purusham kyoginaha. So the shloka goes, I'll try my best. Vijnana nirvidya gatam patim prajaha prohita atmaya shuhrad gana adhyaya vikur urvayam atishoka katraha Yataha nigudam purusham kyoginaha. Would anyone like to try the shloka?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. Hari Bol.
Sorry. Viknaya nirvitta gatam patim prajaha purohit amataya shurit ganadaya vichakuir udvam atishoka katara yata nigudam purusham ku yogina. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Anyone else would like to try?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I am trying.
Please go ahead, Prabhuji.
Vigyayo nirvidya gatam pating prajaha purohito amatta shurida ganadayah vichikur udvyam otishoko katura jatha nigudam purusham kuyoginah. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Krishna
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Hari Bol, Mataji. Please go ahead.
Vigaya nirvidya gatam patim prajaha purohita matya shurid ganadaya vichikyururvyam otishokokatara yatha nigudam purusham kuyoginaha. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Anyone like to try?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I am trying again.
Yes, Mataji. Please go ahead.
Viggaya nirviddha gatam patim prajaha purohitaya mataya sruhit ganadayah vichikururivayam otishaka katara yatha nigudam purusham kuyoginah. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. We'll just go with synonyms. So, word by word translation, word by word translations, translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, the first word is Vijnana, after understanding. Nirvidya, being indifferent. Gatam, head, left. Patim, the king. Prajaha, all the citizen. Prohita, priest. Atmaya, ministers. Suhrit, friends. Gana Adhaya, and the people in journal. Vichukyu, searched. Urvayam, on the earth. Ati Shoka Katraha, being greatly grieved. Yataha, just as. Nigudam, concealed. Purusham, the supersoul. Kyoginaha, inexperienced mystic. Anyone like to read the translation?
Which I can read.
Please.
Now, when it was understood that the king had indifferently left home, all citizens, priests, ministers, friends, and people in general were greatly aggrieved. They began to search for him all over the world, just as a less experienced mystic searches out the supersoul within himself. Do you want me to read the purport, Prabhuji, or someone?
Please go ahead, Mataji. Please go ahead.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The example of searching for the supersoul within the heart by the less intelligent mystic is very instructive. The absolute truth is understood in three different features, namely impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such Kuyogniya or less intelligent mystic can by mental speculation reach the point of the impersonal Brahman, but they cannot find the supersoul who is sitting within each living entity. When the king left, it was certain that he was staying somewhere else, but because the citizens did not know how to find him, they were frustrated like the less intelligent mystics. Jai.
Thank you so much, Mataji. And we also have the second shloka, which is last shloka of the chapter 13, which is shloka number 49. Anyone would like to read this one?
Yeah, Prabhuji.
Yes, please go ahead.
Alakshayanta padavim prajapatir hatodhyama pratyupasartyate purim rishin sametan abhivandaya shashravo nyavedayan paurava bhratir viplavam.
And the synonym is, can you continue?
Alakshayanta, not finding. padavim, any trace, Prajapatehe of King Anga, Hata Udyamaha, having been disappointed, Pratyupashratya, after returning, Te, those citizens, Purim, to the city, Rishin, the great sages, Sametan, assembled, Abhivandaya, after making respectful obeisances, Sa Ashravaha, with tears in their eyes, Nyavedayan informed Paurava or Vidura, Bhartar of the king, Viplavam, the absence. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
And the translation is, when the citizen could not find any trace of king, after searching for him everywhere, they were very disappointed, and they returned to the city, where all the great sages of the country assembled because of the king's absence. With tear in their eyes, the citizen offered respectful obeisances and informed the sages in full detail that they were unable to find the king anywhere. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 4th canto, 13th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Description of the Descendant of Dhruva Maharaj. Om Ajnana Tirmindasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamischa Shri Rupam Sankrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitan Misha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Matajis, we were discussing on the last 2 shlokas of Canto of chapter 13. So far, what we have heard was that King Anga has a son named Vena, and how he was born. So we'll just go quickly a short description as to what has happened so far. We have seen in the shloka number 29 and 30 that the king was showed his sadness, that why when he was performing yajna no one was coming. So this question was already raised previously, the disappointment of the king. They started from there, how the king was disappointed, when he didn't had when no demigods were coming to collect the from the yajna. So it was seen that he was trying to get a child who was very cruel. So you can see that Vidur asked Maitri Muni that, why that has happened. Such a powerful king, devoted king, and his son is like him. Isn't this topic quite familiar that we have already discussed it many times? It happens, that we discuss this, why bad thing happens to good people. So this topic has been first initiated by Vidura to Maitri Muni. The topic started from there, why bad thing happens to good people. So we do understand that Vena is the king, sorry, not king, he's not yet become king, but Vena was not an ordinary child, he was gifted child. He used to like killing people, he was not a normal kid. While playing, he used to kill people just for fun. He tortured them, he just unnecessarily killed animals just for the fun. So we just go a little bit back, how was he born? You've seen in the scriptures, when the king doesn't have any child, so they used to do the yajna, same like in Ramayana, we have seen Dashrath didn't have a son. So he has to do the yajna. And when they do the shlokas, when they chant the hymns and all the mantras, the specific Devi Devta used to come and get the ahuti. And in return, they give the kheer and, the benediction or the boon through which the praja used to um, get the blessings. So Dasha did the same thing. He did the yajna and he got the kheer and he distributed among all the three queens, Kaushalya, Kekai, and Sumitra, and he got 4 kids. So different yajna has different potencies. Like Ashwamedh yajna is done. Rajasuri yajna is done. We have seen in Mahabharata. So Ashwamedh yajna is where the king is, the horse is used, and he's having what you call a letter in their neck, and they used to make it free, go wherever it goes, and whatever area that covers, that becomes king's territory until unless someone wants to fight against them. So that was the yajna which was happening, and you can see in the same way this kid Vena was born. So before that, when king was doing the yajna, no one was coming to take the ahuti of the yajna. Then he was very perplexed. What's happening? So he asked the priest, what's going on? Priest, he was first questioning himself that is it something me which I have done or what's going on? I have no clues. So the priest said, no, what you have done is absolutely right. We are doing the right hymns. We are doing the right mantras. The quality of ghee is absolutely fine. Everything is going fine, but we don't know. But yes, there was one reason. And the reason was that there is no motive for this yajna. There's no motive for this yajna. So you need to make a vow that, you're doing this yajna for this reason. Then King thought, right, I don't have a child. So let me do this yajna for the child. So as per Karam Kand, as we do all this yajna, the samskaras and everything happens, then the specific demigod or the god comes and take the ahuti of the yajna, and then they give the blessings. So in this case, the same thing happened. The person came from the Agni Kund and gave the kheer to the king Anga, and he gave it to wife, and same thing happened. The kid was born. This is so auspicious, Lord Ramchandra came like that. Chitraketu has his son like that. The Shastra is filled up with all these activities. But in this scenario, the king's son was not as per what he desired, And there is reason behind this. There's a reason behind this. It's basically the king, Vena became the headache for the king because of all what he was doing in the kingdom. Because he was king's son, he can do whatever he wants. So he just did quite a few nonsense things by killing people, torturing animals, all those things. But we need to understand when we have got this topic, why a bad thing happens to good people. What is our general answer? What we answer them? It is because of our previous karma, right? So in this scenario also, there was previous karma as well. So do you know the mother of King Vena? Vena was Mother Sunita, and she was daughter of Mrityu, death. So isn't it we say that the quality of the boy, when the boy is born, the quality comes inherit from the mother side? So exactly that's what happened here. So the boy has got the qualities from the death personified, from death. And also the father Anga, he's done some activities in the previous birth as well, which is getting fruitified now. You see in the example of the Dhrashtra, he has 100 sons, and he was getting you need to understand that getting a son is very, very auspicious, and getting a son is only happens when you have done lots of punya karam. It says this in the scriptures. When you have done punya karam, then you will get a kid. So the Dhrashtra asked the same question: why he has to take so many births, the sin which he committed 50 years ago got fruitified now? And the answer was because he has done so much of punya karma, he collected that he got 100 kids. And because of the one bad karma which was done 50 years back, he has to pay for it now. So in just one shot, all 100 kids were killed. So from here, we go to the next topic, which is about the shloka. This is just a recap what has happened. So here we can see that King Anga has decided to leave the kingdom. So generally, when we see in the Shastras that everyone wants to have a putra, and putra has got specific duties. So it says that when we get a child, when we are in Krishna conscious, we need to have a child so that we can also engage that newly born child in Krishna consciousness, so that he grow further, advance in Krishna consciousness, and go back to Godhead. That's the purpose of having Krishna conscious child. That's the purpose of raising a child in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, Prabhupada said we should not have any kids. If we can raise the kids in Krishna consciousness, we should have kids so that they can go back to Godhead. They can continue their journey from last birth to this birth and advance in this birth and go back to Godhead. So it says, Srila Prabhupada has mentioned quite a few places that it says that Putra Pinda Prayojanaha, that the purpose of Putra is, what does the word Putra means? Do anyone know? Putra means what? It's
Who
an
saves
open.
the father from going to the hell called Put.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji. So Putra means Puma Nama Narka Taryate Iti Putra. So there's a hell called as Puma. So the Putra is the one who do the offering, who do the Pindadan, who do the Shad ceremony by offering Vishnu Prasad to the forefathers. And the soul which is entrapped in that loka, in that Nark loka, they get freed and they get the next birth or higher planets. That's the purpose of Putra. Putri cannot do that. It's done by the Putra. The Shastra says that. And that's why it says that Putra in the family has to be very, very important. And that only comes when you have done quite a few austerities, when you've done a very punyakaram, then the Putras come. So you can see again in the scriptures that the Dashat did the same thing. Chitraketu did the same thing, getting the Putra from the Yajna. Why? So that as a king is a ruler, right? King is a ruler. He's ruling the king. He's ruling the kingdom. So once the king departs, when king get died or king get old, he used to forward that his legacy, the kingdom, to his son, so that he can rule it, and he can advance the praja as well and taking care of them. But in this scenario, we can see that Vena was not a good child. He was not doing the dharma shastra. He was not doing it all. He was basically just getting on a wild side. He was just killing people, torturing them. He was not having any good qualities at all whatsoever. So having a good child is good, but having a bad child is very good. You can detach easily. If you can see, if your whole family is very, very obedient, if you see your father, your son and your daughter, your wife is respecting, very, very humble speaking, you get basically, it's my family, it's my family, it's my kids, my child. You get a bit of attachment is there. But when your child is like, Hare Krishna, like that, then you feel the detachments come very easily. So in this case, we can see that that King Anga was having detachment, from the very early when he started listening all this katha of his son, that how he's doing, what he's doing. And we to understand the situation from this, we to understand very, very important lesson that we are having unfavorable situation around us every now and then because we are staying in a dukhalam shashvatam. Always we have having miserable conditions. But it's up to us how we make that miserable condition into favorable condition. That is Krishna consciousness. There will be always, Vipita will be coming every now and then. But we have to make that thing into Krishna consciousness. Best example, Srila Prabhupada. What about his family? Were they cooperating with them? No, they weren't. Srila Prabhupada said to his wife, no, that either leave chai or leave tea or leave me. He said, I can't leave chai. The Srila Prabhupada has to make. He didn't say, oh, Krishna, why are you doing it to me? I will not come to Krishna. That's enough. No. But he made that unfavorable condition to favorable. And look at what we have now. We have got Hare Krishna movement across the whole globe. Every town, every village can chant Hare Krishna. That's why Srila Prabhupada has made the unfavorable condition into favorable condition. So that is Krishna consciousness. So Bhagavatam says in many places that we have come alone, we have to go alone. We as an individual soul, we are all responsible for the answers in front of the Dharmaraj, at the end of this birth, at the end of this life. We will be answerable, we will be questionable that you have taken this birth, what activities you did to advance, what activities we did. We can't say, oh, Dharmaraj, I was entangled with my wife, I entangled with my child, No, we need to mold our life in whatever situation we have got. We have to mold in such a way that everything comes together in harmony so that we can perform devotional service. And that's what is exactly happening here. So we can see that from purport, we can see that Maharaj Anga was perplexed and he has left the he has left the kingdom. Now remember one thing, leaving a kingdom is not that easy. Forget kingdom. Leaving a home is not that easy. Even if we are going for a home program, we are just thinking, make sure the house is locked. Is that window locked? If this is locked, what if someone comes? We put alarm system. We got so much of things, attached with the home. And he was leaving the kingdom, whole kingdom. We are not talking about one or two people staying in that kingdom. It's the whole praja is there. So you should understand that leaving kingdom is not that easy, but you can understand from the same thing that how much dependent he was on Krishna, King Anga, that he left everything. Okay, Krishna, it's your will. I'm leaving now. This is what you want. I'm leaving. Everything what you have said, I'll just follow. It's not that King Anga just left the kingdom like that. He tried to make sure that his son get rectified. He get come to the righteous path. He tried all of his Sam, Dam, Ved, Dhan. He tried everything, but nothing happened. So we can see from the translation, it says, when it was understood that the king was indifferently left home, all the citizen, priests, minister, friend, and people in general were greatly aggrieved. Which was the other example that happened from the Shastra that did the same thing, where they were grieved when the king left. When Lord Ramchandra was leaving Ayodhya, isn't it? Why were the citizens grieved? Why were the citizens grieved? Because they loved him. And the king was very, very righteous, caring for the people, caring for the praja. We need to understand that king has responsibility for looking at the well-being of his subjects, of his praja, of the citizen, both materially as well as spiritually. And that's why the king are not called as a king, Raja. He's called as the Raj Rishi. Raja Rishi has got two aspects, Raja as well as Rishi. Raja is the one who makes sure this praja is well maintained. They have got enough jobs so they can survive. Enough demand and supply is met. They have to fight the war. They have to do many things. That is the Raja aspect, making sure the economic development is happening. But as a Rishi, the same Raja has to make sure that the whole Praja advance in Krishna consciousness, advance in their devotional service, so they can all go back to Godhead. That's why it's called as the Raja Rishi. So the king's responsibility was not just to taking care of himself, that I will advance. No, that's why they used to do all these yagyas, so people are involved, people know who God is. So the whole Praja can go back to home, back to Godhead. And that's the reason why when Praja used to do any good activities, any punya karam, king used to get some portion of it. And similarly, when the Praja used to do anything small, bad thing, even king used to get the same effect. So what to talk about devotional service? If the Praja used a devotional service, king used to get the effect of that. Some portion of it also used to get in devotional service as well, which we did last month. I'm pretty sure everyone did last month. There was Kartik going on. We did home programs. We go from we have booked so many programs and we knock on the doors. We are doing this program and we did so many home programs and we asked the devotees there. Please chant Hare Krishna. Please chant Hare Krishna. Not that we will get some portion of it, but at least we never know. This month is very auspicious, so you never know what that Bhakti Lata beach, which is already in their heart, can sprout by chanting the holy name of the Lord. And if Krishna is pleased, then he will say, right, because of you, they are coming, let me give you some portion of it. But we don't expect for that. But anyway, it's Krishna's mercy. So we need to understand that Raja Rishi is a very, very big position, and he left the kingdom. So again, coming from the purport, it says, when it was understood that the king has indifferently left home, all the citizen, priest, minister, friend, and people were greatly grieved. And also, not having said that, they also have the glimpse of Vena as well. King has left, that's fine, okay. But who's the next person coming on the throne? Vena, oh my goodness, that person is horrible. He's killing people just for fun. If that person become king, what's gonna happen? So they were already, half tension to unka wahi se shuru ho gaya tha. What kind of king that he gonna be? And again, he says, they began to search for him all over the world, just as a less experienced mystic searches out for super soul within himself. So Krishna says in Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, as well as in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's written many places where the super soul resides. Anyone wants to volunteer where Krishna resides? The shloka?
Sarvasya chaham hriti sannivishto mata
Tata.
smritir gyanam apohanam cha vedeshcha sarve rahameva viddui vedanta kritveda vedeva chaham.
Spot on,
15,
Mataji.
15. 15, 15.
Thank you, Sita Nandini Mataji. Thank you so much. Spot
Hare
on.
Krishna.
It says, I'm sitting in everyone's heart as a Paramatma. Isn't it? There's one more shloka in Bhagavad Gita where it says,
It is probably in 1861.
Yeah, 1861.
Ishvara Sarva
Ishvara
Bhutanam.
Sarva Bhutanam Riddesha Arjuna Tishtati Dhamayan Sarva Bhutani Yantrarurari Maya. Yantrarurari Maya. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It says super soul is situated in everyone's heart. It says Krishna has a place to stay as a Paramatma in everyone's heart. And Srila Prabhupada has said in many, many of his lectures, to understand the super truth, to understand realize the absolute truth, there are three ways, as stated in this purport as well. There are three ways we can find, we can search for God, which is impersonal Brahman. The second is Paramatma realization. Third is Bhagwan realization. And we have got so many. The first six chapters of Bhagavad Gita is all about yoga, and the last ends with Hatha Yoga, Dhyana, Ashtanga Yoga. That starts from Yam, Niyam, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahar. End with Samadhi. But we have to follow that process. So it's not that Krishna just saying you can just find me. We have to follow a process. It says in the shloka that it says from the absolute truth is understood in three different features, namely impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and the supreme personality of Godhead. Such yogina or less intelligent mystic can by mental speculation reach the point of impersonal Brahman, but they cannot find the super soul who's sitting within each and everyone's heart. So to find a super soul, we need to follow the process. We have to follow the process as given by Krishna himself. There's a small incident that I just remember that Nityananda Mahaprabhu once went to Nandacharya's home and he was hiding. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Where is Nityananda Mahaprabhu?" And everyone started searching in different corners, different rooms, and they were unable to find. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Wait, stop. Start doing the Harinam Sankirtan." And they start chanting Hare Krishna from the far end. We saw someone jumping and coming. That was Nityananda Mahaprabhu. That's the way we have to find God, what he likes, And Bhagavatam is full of instruction, what Krishna likes, what Krishna doesn't like. However, the mental speculators, they can find Krishna to some limit, but that is very, very partial. They know Krishna, but very, very partial. They know Krishna is supreme. They have little bit understanding of God realization, but they don't know the absolute. They have very partial knowledge, and which is not full, and that's very dangerous. That's why it says impersonal Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. Prabhupada gave many examples of sun, the sunlight, the sun globe, and the sun planet. And the material example is like a person going on person wants to know about God actually. So he says that gave an example of train. Someone sees the train coming from the far and he just see the bright light coming. Yes. I saw the train. Which is not wrong. He saw the train, which is fine. It's a light. It's a part of a absolute, but not in full, not in complete. The second person saw the train with the light with some compartments. Yes, I saw the train, which is again right. He saw the train with some light with compartments. It's not true. I mean, it's not a lie. He saw the train. But again, that's not absolute. And the third person saw the light, saw the compartment, went inside, met the people, saw the chairs, looked at the seat, met the driver. He also saw the train. So all three have seen the train. But the first one just saw the light, which is the impersonal Brahman. But that has a partial knowledge. Paramatma is an higher feature. He saw the train with the compartments. But the absolute is the one who knows completely who God is. He knows the compartment, he knows the chair, he knows the driver, he met with people. He got the full knowledge. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, again, how can someone know him? What's the process? Which Krishna was talking about. Krishna has given us a process. What is that process? In 1855, Krishna says, Bhakti Amam Abhijanati. Only by devotional service I can be understood. There's no other way. No other way. Only by devotion. Bhaktanam Abhijanati. In purports, it says, when the king left, it was certain that he was staying somewhere else. But because the citizen did not know how to find him, they were frustrated like less intelligent mystic. Similarly, we can see that Krishna is there, but we have to make an attempt to find it. We have to follow the process to find it. And the process is given by Krishna, again by Krishna himself, which is Bhaktamam Abhijanati, that is devotional service. And again, to clarify this, Krishna says, what's the process? Bhaktinam Abhijanati is the process, but how the process works, how we should engage ourselves. That again says, Man Mana Mad Bhakto. That's the process. Always think of me, become my devotee, give obeisances to me, worship me. And what will happen? At the end, you will come back to me. This is the process to find Krishna. So Krishna has given everything to us. Krishna has given Bhagavad Gita to us, in which he tells us what he likes. He has given us the process. He has given us the quality of devotional service that we should be doing. Everything has been given by Krishna himself. Even in Mahabharata, you can see that in Mahabharata we have seen that the Dhritarashtra was staying with Pandavas after the war. The Dhritarashtra was the one who were trying to kill the Pandavas. Pandavas killed already Dhritarashtra's son, and he was still staying with them. So Vidur was, very taken aback. What on earth you're doing? You're staying with the same people who were trying to kill once, and now they have killed your son. You're staying with them. So sometimes voluntary requirement is required. Voluntary retirement is required. Sorry, not requirement. Retirement is required. VRS. So Hindi, when we say 51, what we call 51 in Hindi? Anyone? What we call
Ekavan.
Ekavan.
51, 52, The word one at the end is very, very significant. As soon as we reach 50, it's time for voluntary retirement. We have to go to one. Our Krishna has made this Varnashram system not just like that only. It has to have a purpose. Varnashram is so nicely assembled. We have got Brahmacharya ashram, we got Grahastha ashram, we got Vanprasthi and Sannyasa. There has to be we have to follow these ashrams. If they have meant for a specific reason, as soon as we reach 50, we have to start planning. We have to start going for a one. We have to start slowly focusing on ourselves. We have to start. It's not just all about family. Family ka kaam tha, grahastha, we have did that part. Now it's time for focusing on our devotional service, because we have to go back home, back to Godhead in this birth. We never know what's going to happen. So we don't know whether we will be reaching the age of 50. I'm not sure if I'm going today at work, I will be coming back home. I have no idea. We don't know the future. I'm pretty sure everyone sitting in this forum don't know what the future will be in next half an hour. We don't know. So can anyone guarantee that we have to stay for 51, 52, 51, 52 to go? Now I will reach 50, then I will do devotional service. I will become old, I will do devotional service. We don't know what the old age is. We have no guarantee when we can find the old age. And that's the problem. And that's why the whole Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita is so important, that teach us that devotional service no need to wait till that age that we have to go. One mein jaake hame karna padega. We have to start from very childhood. Example was Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj. They didn't wait it. They start preaching. They start devotional service from the very tender age. And that is how we can advance in devotional service. अभी नहीं किया तो बाद में कैसे करेंगे? How our body is not even capable of doing it. We can't even walk at the old age. We can't see. We can't talk. We can't hear. How can we do at the old age? It's not possible unless we start practicing from the very tender age. And that's what Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj used to teach us. You know, from the very young age, we should start doing the devotional service. You're not sure about the next birth. It says in Bhagavad Gita, if you do devotional service, next birth is guaranteed in the human form. In an aristocratic family, in a devotee's family, is confirmed. But who can confirm that you will continue the devotional service from there? Krishna didn't say that in Bhagavad Gita, that you will continue from there. Maya is very strong. You may not know that you will take a birth in a as a blind person, as a deaf, as mentally retarded. You'd never know. You may get a human form, but you can't do your devotion in the next birth. What's the guarantee? However, we can see in this birth what is around us. We know in this birth, being in Krishna conscious, thanks to Srila Prabhupada, we never know in next birth we will take birth, whether it's Krishna movement, Hare Krishna movement will be there or not. So in this birth, we have got 4 or 5 things with us which can advance us like crazy. The first thing is we know our destination. That is Golok Vrindavan. We know the destination in this birth. Where this is where we need to go. This is what our goal is. We have got the best GPS in the world. Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. We've got the best GPS. We have got the best car in the world which runs non-stop, which is Harinam Sankirtan. We have got the best car which got the best 4 wheels, which is our 4 regulative principles. The steering wheel of the car is our devotional service. The person supporting us, going back home, back to God, as our devotees association. We've got surrounded with so many things that get advances in Krishna consciousness. If we cannot take this as a golden opportunity in this birth, we cannot, what's the guarantee for the next birth? So we can see from all this description that that Krishna has given us everything pre-cooked. You know, you've got Bhagavad Gita, which shows what the process is. Bhagavad Gita shows what Krishna likes. Krishna shows what's to do devotional service. Everything is there, and still people of Vena's Praja were very disappointed when they saw the king has left. And it's, as Srila Prabhupada says in the translation, that the people were the mystic were unable to find the Supreme Lord in their heart. But again, in Brahma Samhita, it says how to find Krishna in our heart. It says, Prema Anjana Churita Bhakti Vilochane. So devotees, it says, whom the pure devotee sees in their heart of the hearts with the eye of devotion, tingling with the slave of love. That's the process we can find Krishna in our heart. We don't need to be mystic. We don't need to get into Ashtanga Yoga process. Everything is there with us. Krishna has given us everything. So that we know the process, we know what he has said, and he said, whosoever explained the supreme secret, this pure devotional service is guaranteed. Assurance is given. Do not fear. Behold, do not fear. You will come back to me. Everything is given. So these are very 2 important shlokas which I find in this context, that King Vena left, and the purpose of leaving was the sun was unfavorable, and because of this, detachment already happened, and King Anga left the kingdom. And the next chapter will continue from the next topic. And I would like to conclude this chapter now. If you have any other questions, suggestions, or add-on, please feel free. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Dhanyavad Pranam Prabhuji, Hari Bol.
Yeah, Hari Bol. Yeah, you've made the concluding part of this chapter is very nicely explained. Yeah, you don't need to search anywhere. The Shastra already given all the specific instruction. Just follow and then practice. It will automatically come to. The
Right.
most attractive example you have given at the end, what is our destination, and the car example, of course, is very beautiful. It so resembles with our attempt to proceed into the devotional service exactly matches what you explained. Very nice example. Yeah, that's all about. We don't need to go around. It is always with us. You have to just follow the process.
Follow the process.
That-
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it is. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much for sharing your wonderful realizations and other reference shlokas. So enlightening. Especially, I think you emphasized the urgency. That was very nice.
Yes.
Emphasize the urgency for us, especially all of I can speak about myself.
50 plus.
50 plus. I can so yeah. Others are young. I can speak about myself. So yeah, emphasize the urgency for us. So
Yes.
I think yes, it's one is very much emphasized in the after 50. Even if
Yes,
you're not
yes.
able to go to the one, at least at home.
At home, we can start doing it. Yes.
Let us increase and let us reduce our other activities.
Activities. Yes.
So nice. Thank you for emphasizing that urgency of that, Prabhu. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, wonderful class.
Thank you, Mataji.
The comparison about that and description about the Raja Rishi and that your Brahman Paramatma Bhagavan with nice examples. And last one, we know in this Bhat, I like that best. That
Yes,
comparison
Mataji.
with that, Golaka and GPS and best car and best wheels. And what you tell about the steering, the
Devotional service, Mataji.
devotional service. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Because that can guide us
Yes.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for very nice class.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Any more reflection, question before we end? Doesn't seem to be. So I'd like to thank His Grace, Chitra Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you very much for coming this morning. And
Hare
we'd like
Krishna.
to see you more often. His Grace, Chitra Krishna Prabhu ki jai. Shri
Jai.
Prabhupada.
Jai.
Pachindobevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavesyo Namo Namah. Anurti Koti
Ananta Koti
Vaishnavaki
Vaishnavrinda
ki
ki jai.
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 Hare